Morning, kids. So Suella Braverman just did an interview where they discussed her Rwanda policy and crime, and what she said wasn't just bad, it was cartoon levels of evil. But before we get to that, Suella Braverman, I think I've got it. Suella Deville, she'll demonize migrants to cover her kills. Rwandan fights won't help us pay our bills. Suella Deville. Because she's asked about the asylum seekers who she wants to send to Rwanda.
But if migrants do end up there from the UK, if you get your way in the courts, if they're not happy, should they be able to protest about their living conditions once they get there?
Rwanda is a safe country.
Now, Laura Koonsberg asked this question a few times because Suella Braverman kept dodging it. And I'll be honest with you, it took me to the second time of asking for me to realize, oh, she's talking about 2018, where refugees in Rwanda protested against not getting enough food, and at least 11 of them were shot dead. And that was one of the first things that I researched when the Rwanda policy became news. And most importantly, I'm not the Home Secretary.
Now, the reason I asked that is that in 2018, a group of refugees in Rwanda did stage a protest because their food rations were reduced. Do you know what happened to them?
I'm not familiar with that particular case.
Which leaves us with two options. Either she knew that 11 people, refugees, were shot dead for simply demanding adequate food in the country that she dreams of sending refugees to, and she's just lied to us about knowing that, or she spent the last year telling us Rwanda is a safe country without having done even a second of research to back up that claim. Both of those are a level of evil that you only see in cartoons.
If something terrible like that happened, where 12 refugees were shot at and lost their lives, if something awful happened when refugees were sent from the UK to Rwanda, would you end the policy?
What I will also say is our legislation makes provision for those extreme circumstances whereby if there is something unforeseeable, serious and irreversible harm, someone would be able to challenge the decision.
You just said that if the refugees that you send to Rwanda end up getting starved and shot to death again, then it won't be you that ends the policy of sending them there. It'll be up to the lefty lawyers that your party's been demonizing for the last 7 years to stop you. She's basically saying that she's not guided by any sense of morality. She's externalized the very concept of moral responsibility to the very people that she hates. Now listen to this next bit about the deal that the government's done with Rwanda and ask yourself, is this really about achieving something, or is this more about trying to win votes by making it look like you're sending foreigners back to Africa?
In the deal as well, which we've had a good look at it, there is also a suggestion that the UK will resettle some of Rwanda's most vulnerable refugees. How many people do you expect will come to the UK from Rwanda under this scheme?
No, we don't foresee that happening.
Well, hang on, it's in the agreement. It says the participants will make arrangements for the United Kingdom to resettle a portion of Rwanda's most vulnerable refugees in the United Kingdom.
Our arrangement is very much focused on people who are coming to the UK from safe countries and unlawfully, and then being resettled to Rwanda.
But it's in the agreement then. So why did you sign it if it's in the agreement? That's what it says in black and white. And you've said that, but it is clearly here in black and white that the agreement you have signed also says that the United Kingdom might have to take refugees from Rwanda. But I think our viewers will hear that you don't want to address that point.
And then we get on to grooming gangs.
White girls who have been living in troubled circumstances, in challenging situations, have been abused, exploited, drugged, raped by networks of gangs of rapists. And we have to be honest about the fact that some of these gangs have been overwhelmingly British Pakistani males.
So let's get something straight. Did the police fail those girls in Rotherham and Rochdale? Yes, absolutely. But look at the charge rate for rape in the UK. 1.6% of reported rapes end up in court. And yet the far right would have you believe that the police don't take claims against sexual predators seriously because of political correctness.
Well, the reports do demonstrate, if you read the report on Rochdale and Rotherham, the Casey report, they do say that concerns about political correctness, worries about being called bigoted. South Yorkshire Police has been, come in for criticism in previous years for not taking seriously the very serious, devastating claims by young white girls who've complained about being raped and abused.
Not believing a girl who comes to you, a police officer, with a report about how she's been raped or groomed because you're worried about how it might make you look is not politically correct. It's about as far from that as you can possibly fucking get. And here she is, dog whistling hard towards the Asian grooming gangs trope that the far right loves to use, even though the Home Office that she's the head of has already said that most grooming gangs are white. Yeah, this video got dark, that's why I figured I'd start it with this song. Have a great week.